Shalom, Laha Alahayim, Nawathan, Kahaloyim La, Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahushai, Bahasham, Racha, Hakwadash, giving all praises to Yahweh, in the name of Yahushua, in the name of the Holy Spirit, double honors unto the elder apostles, elder bishops, and the head elders of all the camps of Great Millstone, GMS, who do well, while learning this 100% truth from. Salutations to the hopeful elect scattered abroad. It's your brother Tazapanya, back at it again, with a quick hit through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shem Yahushua, Lord willing, Yahweh Ratazah, you are edified. All right, the MOTB is knocking on the door. Okay, it ain't around the corner. Okay, now you have Congress, all right, talking about implementing these CBDCs, man. Okay, remember the old video on C-SPAN of Sleepy Creepy Jim Crow Snow Joe, right? Talking about that. Believe me, in our lifetime, you will have debates and talks and you know, judge on micro C-hips. Okay, so all of a sudden, that's the same dude who said that some 20, almost 30 odd years ago, okay, is now, you know, the puppet, the grand puppeteer. Not the puppeteer, but the the puppet for all eyes to see. You feel me? And the international banking families are pulling the string. So we're gonna start with a scripture. You know, let's go to the book of Proverbs. That's the first thing that came to my mind. I'm gonna go to the book of Proverbs. Let's see here. Proverbs. Let's see here. Proverbs. Where should we start at? Yeah, Proverbs 27 and 12. A prudent man foreseeth the evil. All right. So a wise man, all right, foreseeth the evil. Remember, evil is a compound word, even ill. All right. Eve meaning time, ill meaning bad time. So we're seeing Jacob's trouble coming. We're seeing the implementation of the MOTB because we know what it is. All right. And it's not anything other than the implantable subdermal processing radio frequency identification charagma, right, under your hand or in your head. Okay, so what the wise men, the prophets that the Lord set up, is seeing this bad time coming, and they hideth himself under what? The shadow of his wings, which is symbolic to this truth, man, where you're protected. You see what I'm saying? Just like how a bird and its eggs, right? It warms them, it keeps them safe and under its wings, man. That's what Yahushai does for his elect. Remember, the name of the Lord is a strong tower, and the righteous runneth into it and are what? And are safe. You see? So it says, and hideth himself, but the simple pass on and are punished. So the simple ones is going to pass on and get punished eventually by missile food, by the missiles, if they even make it to that, because there's going to be a lot of death even before the missiles come. All right, so we're going to start it here, and then I'll, the spiritual commentary that I like to do. All right, so without further ado.
Guys, welcome to Coffee Chat. Well, guys, last night we had probably one of the biggest thunderstorms that I have ever been in. And in fact, the lightning was this. It was all kinds of lightning. You had that sheet lightning where the whole sky lights up and fork lightning coming down like that. It was just absolutely insane. And the wind was just out. There was a driving rain. You could see it was just being push. It was hitting the windows like crazy. It was just wild. Anyway, came out this morning. And wow, what a beautiful morning. I mean, it just literally just power washed the whole place, all the garden, the yard, and everything. It's just really amazing just how nature does that. But boy, what a show it was. Unbelievable, to be sure. Anyhow, guys, the articles I have today, I'll tell you. Boy, is the spin machine on full drive today. Guys, I was reading an article about the national debt. It just tipped over that 33 trillion mark, but that isn't the worst of it. The worst of it is 7.5 trillion have been added to this national debt just in the last 2 years, and 1 trillion of it just in the last 3 months. It is absolutely insane what's going on. And now here you've got these members of Congress that have just been poo-pooing this digital asset space and all that, all this and that. Well, guys, what are they talking about now? You guessed it. They're talking about the implementation of CBDCs. And, the attitude is, oh, well, we can't trust all these crypto bros over here. Da, 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 da. No, the American people should be able to rely on their government and all this kind of nonsense, of course. And I'm telling you what, when I see what they're doing, the Federal Reserve is doing with our national debt and the money system we got now, can you just imagine what it's going to be like when they have that, all that, literally the monetary policy is literally programmed into the currency itself? It is going to be insane and it is ridiculous. But that is exactly what they expect. They expect us to just buy it hook, line, and sinker. Oh, all these people that are involved in this digital asset space, they got to be up to no good. They got to be out there trying to cheat you. They're cheating the system and don't, and on and on and on. They're either tax cheaters, fraudsters, or whatever they are. But you can trust your friendly neighborhood government that has literally sank your economy into one of the most abysmal realities that we have ever experienced in decades. It is absolutely obscene. It makes you sick. I'm absolutely tired of it. But this is how it comes down. And the way in which they try to spin it, it just blows my mind. The deflection is insane. And get this. Up there in Canada, you literally have the Trudeau going off on all of these grocery chains. Oh, they're price gouging. They're this. They are they? No, it's the cost to manufacture, ship, transport, and put these goods on the shelf has gone sky high. Because why? You've been literally debasing the currency month after month after month after month and creating, all of this helicopter cash to the nth degree. And it's caused a reaction. But no. We're going to put the blame. And this is what they do, guys. They shift the blame. They put it on other people's shoulders. It's, these big businesses that are getting rich off of all, and on and on. And they make these guys out to look like the bad guys, right? And what are they really doing there? Guys, what they're doing there is implementing price controls. They're just trying to do it in a way in which they don't come out and say, oh, the government's putting in price. No, they are implementing price control. That's what it is. And how are they doing it? They're utilizing their big stick of taxation, aren't they? To go out there and tax these corporations and this and this and this so that they acquiesce to the government's demand to, keep prices at a particular thing. And the next thing you're going to see is legislative changes where that's going to come in place. Look, you even had, I think it was the mayor of Chicago out there recommending that there be government-run grocery stores. You heard it. Why?
That shit is crazy. Let me get a quick precept. This is in Luke chapter 2, verse 1. And it came to pass in those days that there went out a decree from Caesar Augustus that all the world should be taxed. Okay? And this is the exact same thing that they're trying to do now. Inflation is a hidden tax. All right? Caesar is going back to what? Rome. We're in the second leg of Rome. Okay? So they come in the same spirit, all right, to tax everybody. You see what I'm saying? And this is how the factions of your Sakari and things of that nature, the ancient ones, zealots, came about, wanting to fight physically the powers that the Most High set up above them, which was the Roman Empire, because of the distraught and the lack of proper living under these rulers, man. Okay, so notice it said a decree, and notice how he just said that they even having talks of writing laws, enacting laws in Chicago to have government-run grocery stores. You see, this is what is coming down to rationing, just all hell breaking loose where they own everything, all right, because you will own nothing and be happy. All right, just like they said. So let's go to Isaiah We bring this out all the time too. Isaiah chapter 10 and verse 1. Woe unto them that decree unrighteous decrees and that write grievousness that they have prescribed, man. You see what I'm saying? So they're doctoring up why they should tax and do this and do that and have programmable tokens, central bank digital currencies, so on and so forth, man. This is the same spirit of Rome, and Rome fell in the same exact way. Rome did what? They added tin into their silver, money and things of that nature. They devalued their own currency. They gave bread and circuses to get the people's mind off of what's really going on. You feel me? Everybody talking about the Cowboys and the Broncos and football and you feel me? When there's big shit going on, man, big shit. You know what I'm saying? So in Proverbs, I had one more and then I'll let it play without interrupting. This is Proverbs chapter 29 and 2. When the righteous are on authority, the people rejoice, but when the wicked beareth rule, the people mourn. You see? And that's the same thing that happened back then, which started to lead up, to the battle at Masada, I think the proper name. But when the Roman soldiers besieged the city and the people ran into the mountain that didn't listen to Yahweh Shai. Well, he did say run into the mountain going into, but the specific mountain, you see what I'm saying, after that they besieged the city, when you were supposed to, when you seen the troops dip, you see what I'm saying, referring to 70 AD. And then they had basically made a pact to commit suicide and things of that. This is in secular history, but that fighting spirit, you see what I'm saying, because of the mourning of the wicked ruling over you. And who is the wicked? According to Malachi chapter 1, verses 1 through 4, Esau, Edom, the border of wickedness.
In order to implement price controls, because here in the United States, they don't have these kind of, social sticks like they do over there in China and different places like that, where they can literally dictate their will to the same degree. So what are they going to do? They're going to go out there and what? You're going to have an entire grocery store, your friendly neighborhood government grocery store. Everything in there is going to be no-name products, and you're going to go in there. Look, I'll tell you what, if they ever want us to eat bugs, they'll be feeding us it that way. That's for sure. But guys, they do this every single time. This is nothing new. Nothing new. This happened in the 70s, happened in the 1930s, on and on.
Hold on. He said this is nothing new, right? We know what scripture I'm going to. Right? Let's go to the book of, where we at? Of Ecclesiastes. Let's go to the book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 1, verse 9. The thing that hath been, it is that which shall be, and that which is done is that which shall be done. And there is no new thing under the sun. You see? So all of these tactics is just coming again over because there's nothing new, man. Okay? Esau has a perpetual hatred to you, Jake, out there, you so-called Negro, Latino, Native Americans. You think that shit went away? You think they're gonna stop using the tactics that they always have done? No. All right. So get ready for that great siege of the city. This what city? Jerusalem. And Jerusalem was a people before it was a place. All right. And then there's many ways, different ways other than actual physical manifestation to siege a people, man. We're getting hit on all sides. And this is why the covering, you have to foresee this thing, be on your watchtower, and hide yourself in this truth.
Whenever there's been a political or a financial crisis that, hey, these politicians and all their policies have helped create, what do? Well, at the end of it, they shift the blame, number one. Number two, of course, the narrative that gets out there is all spun like crazy. Then number three, they throw in all their price controls and stuff like that. The next thing you're more likely going to see is limits. You guessed it, it's limits. So what do they call limits? Hey, you go in the store, only 2 limited per household and stuff like that. Guys, another word for that is rationing. Exactly what they're going to do. Watch and see. I mark my words. I bet my last XRP. That's what's coming down the pike.
And remember, in the Apocrypha, I'm going to roughly paraphrase here, It says that people will invade other people's houses because of the lack of bread. Okay, so if they're limiting things, which is rationing through government decree, all right, and you have a bigger family or you only allotted this and that and the third, people gonna get physical, man.
They're gonna start to ration various things and put limits on it and stuff like that. And then, guys, what is it? It's a transition into a brand new system. You guessed it. They are going to start implement. Don't kid yourself. They're not just thinking about CBDCs now in the United States. They've been working on this thing since 2015. And I can tell you for a fact, guys, Canada and all these other major Western powers have been doing the same. They're getting ready to move us over to a digital currency.
Notice he said Western powers. He didn't say Eastern. He said Western powers. The West is what? Europe, NATO, and America, the beast. And whose charagma is it going to be? The beast, the MARK of the BEAST. Okay?
The whole system's going digital. The way securities are being bought and traded digital, what they're going to be, the tokenization of everything. And I'll tell you what, they know for a fact that those that have had the gumption, like you and I, to get into this digital asset space and stick with it and have it hands of steel, we are going to see some appreciations like crazy. Then guess what? Well, they're going to look at us and they're going to say, well, that's not right. They shouldn't have been able to see such tremendous gains on the backs of everybody else in this. We are good. You know what we need to do? We need to have special taxation for people that have invested in the digital asset space. Mark my words, that's what's coming back down. I'm telling you. It is absolutely obscene. These are the folks that literally start the fire and the city starts burning down. And then they come out and say, oh, wow, but, you can rent our hoses. We have a great water supply. Hey, why don't you rent our...
That's what is called Hegelian dialectic. He just used a scenario, which was perfect. They create the fire, you running out, and then he rents you for profit, which is the reaction, you running. And then the solution is you buying their hoses. So he forces you, he manipulates you, he deceives you to buy their solution. And he causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a charagma.
Hoses, and they come in and they pretend to be the rescuers on the backs of everybody else. These guys they have their integrity they have no integrity, number one, no limits. You got Elizabeth Warren out there literally conferring with Gary Gensler when he goes through the House Financial Services Committee and all this. You got like Brad Sherman out there in California literally calling you and I, calling us as if that we're up to no good, we must be fraudsters and everything else, and on and on and on. And when it's just hardworking people out there trying to get ahead by taking what little that we've had and investing it in probably one of the most volatile and high-risk markets there are, because we see the future coming down the road. And because we have that...
So look, the first precept I brought out, a prudent man foreseeth the evil. But of course, he's talking on the carnal side with money because he's an Edomite. But see, Jake, we looking at it through the spirit. The little that we had, we're under the curses, we the tail, right? We have a decrepit body in these chains of darkness, and yet we of the hope for elect present this body that is not even ours as a living sacrifice to do our reasonable service for Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai. All right, so he probably just going to keep rambling on, but the point is there, man. All right, this is knocking at the door. All right, and I have a feeling before 2024 hit, all right, there's going to be a great change financially that is going to help in the next step of the gradualism to get to the point of pushing this MOTB, man. All right, October 1st is right around the corner, the new fiscal year. Government shutdowns, right? So on and so forth, man. All right, so prepare yourselves for the revelation. Peter, right? I'm roughly paraphrase again. All right, gird up the loins of thy mind and prepare yourselves for the graces and mercy of the revelation unto you of Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai. Hamashayak. All right, Barak Dayaw, Barak Dayaw Shan. Till the next time, Akim Shalom.